Well, Eldritch's time in the sun is long past. Guess we better go pick up Tier. It's the best deck in the format. Barrier Statue Pass it is. Welcome to another deck profile on this channel. Now, I, like many of you, can't really afford to keep up with the Tier format. On the one hand, it's nice that Tier is the only good deck, because that means you can either tech heavily against it, or, because of how long it's in the format, it'll give you time to trade up for the cards so you can finally play it and play it at a high level. But the problem is, especially for people like me, once you get the deck, it's hard to play, and I'm not very smart. So instead, I supplement the brain cells that I'm lacking with this little thing I like to call floodgates. And with that little preamble out of the way, let's get into the deck. You know them, you love them, it's the Floowandereeze. Now this is going to be an ultra budget Floowandereeze deck, meaning there are no Advent of Adventures, and I don't think any of the cards in this deck cost more than like $5. This is for people who really just cannot afford the meta and want to buy a deck that's less than $50. And if that's you, welcome. If that's not you, stay anyway. You might have fun. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join my Discord down below. Now let's get into our little bird buddies. We're going to start with 3 copies of the main lad himself, Robina. Now, Robina is the main starter card. It's a draw Robina or die. What it does is when it's battlefield, you search a level 4 or lower bird, and then you add it to your hand, and then you can normal summon a bird. Incredible card, and all Floowandereeze share the effect where if a winged beast is normal summoned while it's in the banish zone, you can add it back to your hand, and they all go to the banish zone when they leave the field. The best pick off of Robina, of course, is going to be the good old Eaglin, America's Finest. So Eaglin is like Robina, except instead of getting 4 or lower, it gets 4 or higher. So this is usually going to be searching for your M-Pens or any of your impactful tribute monsters that are going to help get your board state a little faster. And one of those tribute monsters, of course, is going to be triple M-Pen. Most people only run 2. We're running 3 because we're ultra budget. So M-Pen, it is a skill drain for monsters in attack position. So all link monsters and anything that's already in attack position by the time it comes down. When it's normal summon, it searches any Floowandereeze spell or trap card. So 99.99% of the time you're getting Dreaming Town with this because Dreaming Town is the best add off of it. And it does not share the clause of getting added back to your hand when it dies. So you have to either shuffle it back with a token once you get to it or have extras. Speaking of token, our one of Floowandereeze are going to be the Stry and the Token. So Stry, when it is normal summoned, it banishes 1 card from a graveyard. So either you can banish an important piece from your opponent's graveyard, or you can banish your own Dimension Shifter from your graveyard, so you can Dimension Shifter again, or block them from getting out a Bestial, or you can just get rid of one of their cards. When Token is normal summoned, it will add a Floowandereeze back to your hand from the exile. This is how you get your M-Pens back, but we only run the run Token because it's just not a great normal summon. You don't really want this until like turn 2. And now for our cards we're going to be searching off of our Robina or Eaglin. We have the DD Crow, that's the Robina search on your opponent's turn. We all know it, we all love it. Just a quick effect, banish something from a graveyard, very strong. We also get my favorite card from this deck, the Barrier Statue off of Robina. This is a card that prevents your opponent from summoning monsters except for wind monsters. I like Floodgates, what can I say? Floodgates are based, and if you've been playing the last 2 years, you're very familiar with Stormwinds. We play 2 because we can't kill our opponents on turn 3 if we're going first, so they're more than likely going to be running over the Stormwinds we have out, so we might need to set up another one. Finally, off of the Eaglin, we're going to grab Rise of the Mega Monarch. We play 1 of it. So when it's normal summoned, it is basically a Trish plus a Yada. So it puts 2 cards into their hand and 1 card top of their deck. This is really strong because you're always getting that triple effect because you're always tributing a wind monster for it. Then the Apex Avian. So Apex Avian returns itself to the hand and can negate something and destroy it. So this is great because since it's returned to the hand, you just keep on normal summoning it. And finally, the best Floowandereeze card, the most powerful one, Triple Dimension Shifter. You know him, you love him. Insane card, goes hard, just drop it down. What's your opponent going to do? Well, if they're playing Tier, they're probably still going to play the game. But for everyone else, now that's it for the monster count. Pretty high monster count, but that's okay because most of the spells and traps are fine. Speaking of spells and traps, we are running triple Magnificent Map. So this is a extra normal summon. It banishes a bird from your deck, so that way you get right back to your hand. So if you have Eaglin, you reveal it off of this, you banish the Robina, Normal Eagle, Rubina back to hand, search, do. Very good card. And then it lets you normal summon on your opponent's turn if they summon a monster. The other Floowandereeze spell card is one of the Unexplored Winds. So Unexplored Winds let us tribute summon a 2 tribute or higher monster by using one monster I control and one monster my opponent controls. And then during my main phase, I can reveal up to 2 winged beast monsters from my hand, place them on the bottom of my deck, and then draw the same number of cards. So this is really good for unbricking your hand. Say you get a hand just full of your high tribute monsters. You just put them back on bottom, draw a card, hopefully it's a Rubina, and you're off to the races. Next for our pots, the standard triple pot of desires. It is Bad Prosby. Look at the top 3, add 1, shuffle them back. Very strong, has been good for like 10 years. Then we have Bad Pot of Greed and Pot of Extrav. Of course, we cannot run Prosby because Prosby is still like a $20, $30 card. You can banish 3 to 6 cards from your extra deck, of which we're not using any of the cards in our extra deck, and then you can draw 1 to 2 cards depending on how many you banished. This is really good if you just have an opening grip that sucks and you just need more cards in it. And then Dark Ruler No More, the tax of this format. Play it, your opponent cannot interact with their monsters on field. Great way for clearing out any pesky boards, especially if there's like a Kashtira Fenrir out, or maybe a Baguska. And for a power 1 Called by the Grave, because Ash is our main enemy. No one really plays it, but if you're going to locals, one, if not most people are going to be playing it. 1 Terraforming to search our map, and 1 Gold Sark, tutoring any of your birds to grave, and the normal summoning a bird is just insane value. Then for our trap cards, we have 2 of the Dreaming Town. So Dreaming Town lets you normal summon on your opponent's turn. Then if you control a tribute summon monster, you can banish it to Book of Moon. Very good way to get rid of all of their important cards. And triple Featherstorm. Most people run this in the side deck. I run it in the main deck because it's cheap, and we need it. So when you activate it, if you control a wind monster, until the end of the turn, negate any monster effect of a special summon monster. An Insane Floodgate, we can uniquely play it, and it just shuts off an opponent's turn. And that is that. If you'd like to stick around, we got some gameplay of this deck happening right about